Since the dawn of time, mankind has been haunted by the same questions. What does water really taste like? How many surgeries has Kim Kardashian actually had? And why is Eminem the most celebrated and most hated MC? Most of those questions I can't answer well because I'm not your therapist and also because I don't really care. But one of those questions does make for an interesting discussion. Now, this is one that has led me to many arguments online, engaging with the trolls and the haters. I've seen a lot of you involved with it as well, but we don't need to waste our mental space anymore. I think it's finally time to get to the root of this problem and the heart of this issue of why Eminem has had the longevity that he's had, why he's so celebrated within hip-hop. But also, with great success comes great hate. He's also one of the most hated, controversial MCs of all time. But why is that? Why does Eminem get so much hate? If he drops a song tomorrow, you know there's going to be hundreds of thousands of streams on it. So many reactors are going to be hitting it up, talking about it. And then there's going to be so many people that are also just taking a giant doo-doo on it without toilet paper just because they can and because it's Eminem. So to really understand this polarizing dilemma, I think we have to get into the mind of a hater, of a troll himself. Let me introduce you to the one and only Lord Jamar. I think it's time we dived into one of his interviews talking about Eminem because I think it really gives a great mentality and mind frame into the hate and some of the arguments and points that they use and somehow this delusional way that they think and act and try to assimilate into real life. So grab your bridge and cave past his kids. We've got the one and only Lord Jamar. It's troll time. One.
Hold up. Let me finish going.
All right, go.
You don't hear Eminem in the club unless he's fucking with somebody else on the fucking record. They don't play Eminem in the club. In the tavern.
Unless he's fucking someone. What in the Playboy is happening right now? I didn't bring my condoms today.
Unless he's fucking with somebody else on the fucking record, they don't play Eminem in the club. In the tavern, they play him. Not in the black club where live niggas go. Now, corny places.
This is Eminem argument 101. Eminem doesn't get played in the club. I'm sure he's gonna say Eminem doesn't get played in the streets soon. Don't worry, we'll get to that. But yeah, I mean, Eminem does not make a lot of club hits. That's not the Slim Shady persona. That's not his style. But he has had songs that have been played in the club. You know, Ass Like That, Shake That. Hell, I mean, even back in the day, I heard Superman played in clubs before. So to say that Eminem isn't playing in the club, he's not making music like that. He's not making like vapid, shallow music that just gets you moving or that's just a vibe. Like that's never been Eminem's MO. That's never been his thing. And not many high-level hip-hop lyricists are getting club play. That's not the type of records that they are putting out because most people don't want their brains working when they're in the club listening to music. They just want to be moving along to stuff. And that is not the type of lyricist that Eminem is. So thank you, Captain Obvious. Let's continue.
Not in the black club where live niggas go. Now, corny places, I can't speak for that. Because I have been to like a corny bar, white boy bar. And yes, they played fucking I'm Slim Shady and a bunch of...
Do no other races exist? I guess it's either you go to a black club or you go to just a white boy tavern. I'm from PG County. We did not have any white boy taverns where I was from. It was the previous one that I would walk into.
A corny bar, white boy bar, and yes,
but that's it. There's only two races in the world. There's no other types. It's either A or B, and that's it. Nobody else. What type of comparison is this? Why are we even dragging race into this dilemma again?
Played fucking I'm Slim Shady, and a bunch of white boys started jerky dancing around this motherfucker. But I'm telling
that is how I dance. I do a circle jerk with my friends.
You, when you leave black people to their own devices, no one's gonna put Eminem at the top above a fucking Jay-Z or a Nas or any fucking body that we see as our fucking true kings. Okay? Period.
I won't dispute that because when I thought about it, right, at first I didn't agree. But it made me think. I wouldn't necessarily go and put him on, but I would put him on maybe if I'm taking a long drive.
Really? Would you?
Why? Like a 6-hour drive because he's
Why do you want somebody screaming at you? Can he put words together?
I wouldn't dispute that. What are you, just a yes person? Obviously.
Yes, but that's not all that hip hop is.
Exceptionally well though.
Who gives a fuck if the content is shit? Who gives a fuck how good you put Cat Rat Bat Hat together?
Now,
if I had what?
Cat Rat Bat Hat?
What I'm saying is, who gives a fuck is what I'm saying. If you're talking about...
And again, like, belittle Eminem like underplaying his lyrics and what he's capable of, like Cat Rat Bad Hat. We all know Eminem. How many breakdowns have we done when we talked about the multi-syllable rhyme schemes? I just love how just like twisted reality becomes. And I don't know why we're getting into greater philosophical depths now, but you know, you talk about objective reality versus subjective reality, and really people just can convince themselves of this world in which they exist and the world works around them that is just so completely detached from reality. But because they believe in it, that is their truth. That is what they stick by. Welcome to the mind of Lord Jamar.
Bad hat.
What I'm
He's
saying
way
is,
more lyrical.
who gives a fuck is what I'm saying. If you're talking about smacking your mother and taking fucking pharmaceutical pills and all shit that doesn't resonate with me, why do I care how good you can rap? There's plenty of motherfuckers that can rap good.
What are you talking about? There's a lot of rappers in the mainstream, regardless of race, who have rapped about taking pharmaceutical pills or over-the-counter stuff and lean.
Why do I care how good you can rap? There's plenty of motherfuckers that can rap good.
And the whole, like, he only talks about his mom type of thing. I mean, Eminem, yeah, he's made Cleaning Out My Closet. He's made songs talking about his mother, but he has a lot of other songs that people relate to, a lot of other topics that people have dove into, whether it's like a high-energy track that you need to motivate you to lift you up until I collapse, inspirational track, emotive vibes of Not Afraid, an MC's come up story, like helping other MCs that are struggling on the grind and giving them that motivation within Lose Yourself to go chase your dreams. Looking at, I mean, the whole Revival album, and you talk about different societal and political issues. You talk about the societal and political issues within the genius storytelling of Darkness. Like, yeah, he can give you like raw, vulnerable stuff. He can give you high energy stuff. He can give you storytelling. He can give you thought-provoking tracks. Like, there's a wide spectrum to this, and yet you're just going to paint it with as broad of a brush as you possibly can. Because why? You have a point to make. You want to hate on him. You want to convince other people to hate on him. I get it.
With me, why do I care how good you can rap? There's plenty of motherfuckers that can rap good, and that are black, and I don't fuck with them either, because I don't resonate with their shit. It's not because they're black and white. It's because what you're saying is whack.
Okay.
You whack, yeah, you can say it good, but so what? So what?
That's the point of rap. Learn how to say it good and very technical.
One last part. What makes so? You said so what he can say it good, right?
Right, but if your
what makes
content,
him whack? Oh, because
his content is horrible, and his delivery and his
all?
voice. Is it relatable? You tell me.
I mean, it's his
Can you
story.
relate to it? Do you hate your mother?
No, I don't.
All right. Would you make a fucking song about your mother's? You know?
No, I wouldn't.
Would you offer up your daughter to Dr. Dre? Go with him, Haley. Would you do that?
Yeah, but he didn't do it seriously. Again, you're taking things out of context.
No, yeah, you think it's funny. I wouldn't
No,
even joke
in that
like that.
context,
How
it was-
about all the gay references, you know, in the name of just rhyming? You see what I'm saying? Like, see, that's what the greatest
I feel you.
rappers, the easy road, they could have fucking made a whole lot of shit rhyme.
Right.
But they said, nah, I can't say that. Even though it rhymes, this nigga will say it. Even though, just because it rhymes. And that's the difference between a real fucking king, okay, and somebody who just raps just to rap.
I do get this point, like this sort of like discussion and look of rap. Like, are you just like stringing together multi-syllable schemes, or do those multi-syllables have cohesion? But again, like there are countless tracks that I've pointed out, like even just diving into one of like my Marshall Mathers LP2 breakdowns when he really has ridiculous rhyme schemes, and you start to like lay out the thought process and the cohesion that is there. Even back in the days of Renegade, when he just attacked that with like 12 syllable schemes, but that was all very cohesive. Like, yeah, it's easy, I guess, to just like throw a bunch of words together that are nonsensical and have like a ton of multis, but really, really good MCs can have those multis, but they can also have that cohesion. It's not mutually exclusive, that point. Like, MCs don't just go, well, this doesn't make sense, so I'm not going to write multis. I'm going to write very simple rhyme writing. No, really dope, high-level, intricate MCs. You know, you talk about like the Black Thoughts. You talk about the Royce the 5'9s. You talk about other lyrical greats. They can still give you those multis and make sense of what they're doing. I mean, we broke down that Toby Nigwe Royce the 5'9 track that had just like 16 syllable multis. That was absolutely stupid, but I love what Royce did on that.
Real fucking king.
But also, like, you could abstractly look at that. If you're not picking up all the bars and catching all the connections, then yeah, you could go shit on it as well. And this is the thing that I love, is when like people take singular lyrics out of context and they start to like poke holes in them, like hating on that and just like quoting a singular lyric. And it's all about the context of a song, because when you write a song, right, it's not the same way as our conversational discussion is, right? So it's very easy to take a singular song lyric or to take other parts of a song and to remove those from context and to poke holes in them. Because the way songs are written are not the same way that our everyday lifestyle conversations happen. And I love when people do that, when they really like poke at an artist's art and they try to like just like absolutely encapsulate like a singular line. Like that defines the entire track, when you're massively taking stuff out of context. And you're also not appreciating it's a different grammatical structure. It's often a different setup that songwriting takes. And yeah, we don't want songs to sound like conversations. Otherwise, we just have conversations and play music the whole time, right? Songs are different. The writing of songs, the structure of songs is different than everyday dialogue. But I love when people sit there and like they want it to be just like their everyday fucking dialogue. It's crazy. I don't know. He's setting me on an interesting discussion, just looking into like art and creativity. But I do try to get the philosophical angle that he's coming from with this and the approach to rhyme writing and lyricism.
Can't say that. Even though it rhymes, this nigga will say it. Even though, just because it rhymes. And that's the difference between a real fucking king, okay, and somebody who just raps just to rap.
I will say, though, in his last album, the content was more mature. It was different. It was none of that kill your mother type of shit.
And it was whack, though. It was nothing.
It was not whack.
It was nothing to listen
I think this is Rivalry's doing all
to. It was fucking whack. Listen, he did a verse about me. You know how bad I wanted that song to be something good? Like, it was whack. It wasn't shit. Nobody in the black community came to me and was like, yo, did you hear what? But I bet you.
Or maybe this is a later interview. Yeah, maybe this is Music to be Murdered by. When was it? Was it I Will that he did that to
And
him?
fucking Drake roasted fucking Meek Mill. Everybody was like, yo, Meek. Did you hear what he said? Nobody. Only white people and people on the internet. You know, did you hear what Eminem said about? Nobody was playing this at parties. I didn't have to worry about it. Like a Meek Mill had to worry about back-to-back when he went to real fucking clubs. Okay?
Yeah, but Drake went in on a whole song. You weren't worth a whole Eminem song. I think, again, that's the delusion and grandeur of Lord Jamar. It's also just a logical fallacy, too, when you sit there and you take anecdotal evidence and you apply that to an entire generalized situation. Like, this is the actual objective truth, just because I haven't experienced it. Well, just because you in your small bubble haven't experienced it doesn't mean that people aren't talking about it. You could also be ignoring the people that are talking about it.
Mill had to worry about back-to-back when he went to real fucking clubs. Okay?
Okay, so we off that. You brought up Lil Nas X, right?
Yep.
And
Proves my point.
Is that song
We're off that.
a hip-hop song? Is it hip-hop?
I mean, yeah, to a degree.
To a degree.
Yeah.
So have you
And
heard?
it's country to a degree.
Still says Eminem, but we're talking about Nas X. Let's see if this carries on through the Eminem part.
It's a combination. That's what it's a hip-hop country song.
Well, first of all, hip-hop's the only music that can infuse any genre of music and still sound good. It's the only one.
I agree.
I mean, every genre.
I like that
of
take.
music you
I
can
agree.
play.
You can blend it.
Blend
you
it,
can,
yes.
You can rap over any type
Classical,
of beat.
Indian,
Any
country.
beat you can rap over.
Uh-huh.
Right. So with that said, like, you heard that Dave East?
I do love that sampling in hip hop. You know, you can just take so many different eclectic sounds and styles and find new ways to reinvigorate them and reinvent them. So again, like I don't think that Lord Jamar says all just like totally nonsensical things. I think there is logic to what he says. I think the problem is that he just has such hate for Eminem, and he just has just such a vision with him that it just exceeds all logical boundaries. You know, he's so focused on trying to convince people of why Eminem isn't good and why he should be hated, instead of just like stepping back and just like giving an MC props, you know, like we give so many other artist props. And, you know, when you talk about Eminem, and we've talked about his cultural impact and what he has done for hip hop, and, you know, the different groups, the different artists that he has put on for hip hop, from the 50 Cents of the world, from the D12s of the world, from the Slaughterhouses of the world. You know, he has definitely actively contributed to the culture. you know, and all the homage that he's paid and all the times that he's tried to give back and, you know, all the collabs throughout the years, even keeping an eye on like the younger generational talent, like the Cordays of the world and giving them opportunities. I mean, oh, I mean, at the end of the day, it's the infamous quote, isn't it? You know, the more success you obtain, the more haters you gain. And it's very true. I think the issue is that if Eminem was a nobody at this point, if he just kind of like fell off with his career, then he wouldn't be mentioned as much. But people do see opportunities with Eminem. They know the second that they mention his name, it's going to get more clicks. It's going to get them more attention. So it's become like a shortcut and an easy route to just garnering more views and to garnering more clout. And that also speaks to Eminem's level of success and just really how many fans he has around the world and how supported that he is. Because if he wasn't relevant to this day, people wouldn't still be talking about him. They wouldn't be looking for ways to capitalize on him and his name. But anyways, what do you guys think of these different discussions? You know, we've heard it before. Eminem's not played in the club. Eminem's not played in the streets. He only talks about his mother. He's just writing rhymes for the sake of writing rhymes. You know, this filter with Eminem, this thought process, this critique of his pen, it's kind of the same conversations on loop. I feel like we're stuck on Groundhog's Day and we just can't ever seem to break free from the cycle. But do we want to break free from the cycle? Because like I said, the whole reason that they're talking about Eminem is because he's still doing it and he's still operating at a high level.